Yo, what is up, everybody? Back again. Y'all already know what
Nail,
it is.
play that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, this man got the background.
You already know, man. Get that money, man. Get that money. Take to the house. Ain't no fucking shit. Easy money. Easy money. Well, it should be easy money, but like
Look,
I
knock
said,
on wood, knock on wood.
Look at the rookies we drafted. We got Dean and we got Davis. Two from Florida. It doesn't get better than that shit.
yeah, put that shit up.
As Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first,
You're
you're
last.
last.
Exactly.
Second place is at 2.
Definitely gonna make up for it.
Trust me. I need a sports podcast, man. I need it. Yo, what is good, everybody? Your I Need a Sports podcast, boys, back in action. Yeah, today it's just me and Kam, just like the good old times, flashback to the first episode. What's good, everybody? Welcome to the I Need a Sports podcast. I'm your host, Bryce Lovejoy, my boy Cameron Sanders. We're going to be covering all your topic needs from the NFL to the NBA. Place, if y'all haven't noticed, y'all might have peeped in the last few episodes we recorded, but yeah, boy, he on his own now. So it's the new podcast area.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, let's get into this AFC West, man. Of course we'll say the best for last looking at. But this division been dominated for the last 8 years by my Chiefs. I think the last 7 years before that, it was like the Broncos. The last 3-4 before that, it was the Chargers. I think the Broncos a little bit again. I know we got it in 2003. I don't think the Raiders have won the division in 20 plus years. So for them to, I don't know if y'all seen the clip, but them, they had the little Kermit on the sidelines talking smack. I don't know if they really have the place to be doing that, but hey, I'm not mad at it as a Chiefs fan. Patrick gonna remember that. But they've been talking a little cash stuff. They did whoop our ass on Christmas Day. That was the highlight of their season. But then we won a Super Bowl in their stadium before they even won a playoff game in their stadium. So where do the Raiders go from here? Because I like Antonio Pierce. I'm always root for a black head coach. Got to. I hope he does well, just not well versus my Chiefs. But I don't know. Did you finish watching that receiver series?
No, I didn't even get to finish watching it.
Okay, well, I won't, try to spoil it, but there was a few clips in there. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, it's a show called Receiver. Last year they had Quarterback, where they do the behind the scenes of the everyday life of certain players. So it was like Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, Mariota. This season it was Justin Jefferson, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and Devontae Adams, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. But in some of the Devontae Adams episodes, his anger was clearly building up, with the quarterback play, the offense in Las Vegas. It basically came to a point in one episode. He was like, yeah, I had to tell the staff, if y'all don't bench Jimmy G, I'm gonna request out of here. It's to that point, yeah, the Raiders are my hometown team. My family's all Raiders fans, group of Raiders fans. But remember, he came there for Derek Carr. That didn't work. They shipped Derek Carr off to New Orleans last year. They signed Jimmy G. And then funny enough, I don't know if you've seen this. I meant to send it to you earlier. I seen apparently the Raiders were ready to move up in the draft last year and draft CJ Stroud. And McDaniel said no. And then signed Jimmy G to 3 years, $72 million. And Jimmy G got benched halfway through the season, man. So Raiders going Raider. What's your lookout for them, or what you think they can do possibly this season, man?
Honestly, on the offensive side, the roster is not that bad. They just don't have no quarterback. And this league, you gotta have a quarterback, or at least a quarterback that that can win you games. I don't think the Aiden McConnell guy is gonna win you games. I'm sorry. I don't see it. And then I think they got Gardner Minshew too.
Yeah, but
Also,
he's the backup. I thought he would be the starter because they signed him.
Yeah,
But nah, they got O'Connell back there, so no.
yeah. Neither one of them is going to win you games. I feel like the defense, and I know they picked up Christian Wilkins to go next to Max Crosby, so those two are going to be a problem. But other than that, I wouldn't say they'll finish last in the division, but they'll probably be third.
Yeah, and it is tough because like obviously Antonio Pierce, interim head coach last year when they fired McDaniels, comes in like the team morale changes. They seem more motivated, they're more competitive, they won some games, but at the end of the day, they end up going 5-4. To end that season with him as head coach. Winning record, yes, but 5-4, that's not going to cut it, especially in this division with the Chiefs. Like you said, I'm pretty sure they wanted to probably draft Michael Penix, then see Atlanta making that pick. I don't think anybody saw Atlanta making that pick, but they took their quarterback, and so they took the best thing that was available with their first pick. They got Brock Bowers, which I think he can, be really good. But then it's like, where exactly are you headed with your roster? Because last year they drafted tight end and Luke Mayer, who was pretty decent for them his rookie season. They lose Josh Jacobs in the offseason to Green Bay because they didn't want to pay him. Devontae's around, but it's been rumors. Like, it hasn't anything really been rumors lately, but before the offseason was really getting started, there was rumors that the Jets were possibly going to trade for him, reunite him with Aaron. So I think like it definitely could get to a point, like say they don't get off to the right start and they are struggling offensively and like Devontae frustrated, they might have to trade him because they're paying him and it's like he not happy. He want to be on a contender. I still I get Derek Carr was a boy. I still don't understand you signing over there if you was truly trying to contend for championships, because that's something he kept reiterating in the Netflix series was like, I got more days behind me than I got in front of me. Like I gotta win a ring. That's what I want. And my brother, I don't know how you was gonna do that with the Raiders, but that's the bet you made. So now you gotta lie in it. But yeah, Christian Wilkins, that is definitely a pickup next to Max Crosby. They're gonna be trying to tear AFC West quarterbacks' heads off. But yeah, I just don't know. Like I think they can be competitive. I think Antonio Pierce will have a competitive team. But like you said, how many games are they really gonna win with that quarterback play? Because like O'Connell, I think it was when they whooped us last year on Christmas. Like the way they talk about the game, you think they was killing us for real. It was literally we had Andy always bring out a bullshit trick play in the most random occasions. We had just scored, they punted to us, we got the ball at like our own 5 or 7. And then we did a trick where Pacheco was handing the ball off to Mahomes. Fumbled it. They recovered it, went into the end zone, touchdown. Then literally, we get the ball back off the kickoff. First play, Mahomes throws a pick 6. Now they're up double. Aiden O'Connell did not complete a pass from the end of the first quarter to the beginning of the fourth quarter. Their offense was doing nothing. And that's what they're returning this year. So they do have talent like in their weapon, like Devontae, what's his name? Josh, is it Reynolds, the receiver? Or I might be butchering.
I think it's something like it's Josh Reynolds. If you talking about
he was in New England and then he came over. I don't know why I'm blanking on Buddy's name, but number 16. Look, I'm sorry, I gotta look it up because there's no way I should be blanking on Buddy's name.
I think Josh Reynolds played for the Lions.
Yeah, no, that is the Lions. What am I? Jacoby Myers.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Wrong J name. Jacoby Myers. Yeah, they got him. And so it's like they got talent. Like I said, Luke Mayer's a decent tight end. Brock Bowers, what I think he could be. I think he'd be a good tight end, but like Aiden O'Connell is not going to lead you anywhere. And then Gardner Minshew, I'll give it to him. He can get you off to a good start in the season. That's what he usually does, but then he's going to tell off in the end, and you'll be right back in the same spot. So, because what did they finish last season? I think they finished like, 8-9? You could very well, be competitive and be 8-9 once again. And it's like, where do you go from there? So, they definitely fumbled. Of course, we'll never know the full details of like how it goes trade day. Like, or not trade day, but draft day when they're trying to make trades move up because they definitely needed a quarterback, but they didn't get it, and now it seems like this year might effectively be a wash. Like you be competitive, but I mean, knock on wood, I just can't see a future where the Raiders make the playoffs for real or and are actual contenders. But if they find a way to squeeze in the playoffs or somehow miraculously upset the Chiefs and be first in the division, props to them. I'll come back and apologize for saying this right now, but I'm willing to bet some good money that's not going to happen this year with their quarterback play. So they probably will be in a fight for last place or so. And the team they'll probably be in a fight for last place with is Denver Broncos, man. Go ahead and talk about because they also their draft kind of made me scratch their head too, man.
I mean, I don't know, like nothing they did in the offseason like made sense at all. Like, okay, you trade, you didn't like Russ or whatever, so you get him, you get him going or whatever. But then you draft Bo Nix. like like I don't know, like it's just that just threw me off. Like I just didn't get how. First of all, I didn't get how he went that high, and then second of all, if you're gonna take why Bo Nix? Like I just didn't. I don't know. I just didn't get that at all. They let Justin Simmons walk. Didn't get that at all. They didn't really add nobody. I was also had they traded Jerry Jeudy, I believe, right?
Cleveland, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Traded Jerry Jeudy. They didn't do nothing this all season, like whatsoever. I think they'll probably be in last place. I had the Raiders go 3. I think the Raiders will be in third, the third or whatever. I think the Broncos will be 4th. Like I just can't see it like working at all. I'm not really that much of a believer. Well, at first I was kind of a believer in Sean Payton, but now I can't see it. I think he came out and said Bo Nix is like his Patrick Mahomes.
He did say that bullshit. I'm like, bro. Like I get, there's instilling confidence, in your player. You want to show them you believe in them. But there's so many other ways you could have gone about that to instill confidence instead of saying that. Because now every time he plays bad, or if he's not even good, it's just gonna look that much worse for you and him. You don't have to compare him to arguably the greatest player we've ever seen at the quarterback position. So that's just dumb. And like I said, I think because I was laying down, like chilling, watching the draft. I think I sat up when they drafted Bo Nix. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? Because it was like, I think that was like what? He was the 6th quarterback taken within the first 12 picks of the first round.
Yeah.
And it's like
something crazy like that.
All the, time leading up to the mock drafts, it was like, okay, well, we know it's probably going to be Caleb first, not Caleb Jaden. But other than them 2 quarterbacks, like Drake May, he's got talent, so he'll probably go 3rd because, all top 3 teams in the draft are picking the first 3 picks. They needed a quarterback. But after that, it was like, okay, do you take a flyer on some of these quarterbacks? No, you could probably go get something else. These quarterbacks will be sitting here, in the second round, later rounds. I guess the GMs must have been talking to each other and was like, and figure something out like, we got to move up because we taking this quarterback and we taking that quarterback. But like, once Michael Penix was off the board, I feel like him and the Raiders should have just accepted their fate. And like, you couldn't make a trade. You're not getting the quarterback you want.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. Raiders, they ate their crow. They took the best player available, which was Brock Bowers at that point in time, which was like the 13th pick, I think. Denver just up and took Bo Nix with the 12th pick, and I was like, I mean, Sean Payton said he, responded well in like the team meetings, and he's got the similar build to Drew Brees, like physicality wise, but it's like, man, Bo Nix was a quarterback in college for what, 6-7 years?
Yeah.
There's a reason he was a quarterback in college for 6-7 years. Like, he's not good. And I get he's, older, so he's coming into the league more mature, but I'm sorry. Again, come back, get on my ass if this is wrong, 3 months down the line of the season, and next thing you know, the Broncos are balling out with Bo Nix. But I just don't think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. And honestly, I've said it before, and you've heard me say this a lot. Yo, Sean Payton, like, he's a good offensive mind. Don't get me wrong. Sean Payton is not that great of a coach, dog. He's not. Like, it is not 2009 anymore. The man had Drew Brees, first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback. Got one Super Bowl, made it to one Super Bowl. That's it. And they were in the NFC. Who was really in the NFC coming up? Aaron Rodgers, the Legion of Boom for a couple years. Who else?
Yeah.
Now the 49ers, have been taking the throne since around like 2019. But for that, the Saints should have had multiple Super Bowl trips, and they failed at every point in time. Now, I know there's going to be a Saints fan that's listening to this, and they're going to be pissed off because they're going to be like, well, what about that Rams game? I agree with y'all. Y'all got robbed that game.
Yeah, they got robbed that game, yeah.
But there's a lot of other games y'all just completely sold the bag, and that's just on y'all. I mean, for God's sake, y'all gave Kirk Cousins his one and only playoff win. Like, a walk-off. You let Kirk Cousins walk into your house and beat you, Sean Payton. Then you get the Denver job last year. You talk the most cash shit about Nathaniel Hackett. And Nathaniel Hackett is terrible. If it wasn't for him being Aaron Rodgers' butt buddy, he wouldn't have a job. But you say like, oh, Nathaniel Hackett, he had no business being an NFL coach. I'm going to come in. It's going to be completely different. I'm going to change Russ around. Russ was decent. And really, y'all made him the scapegoat because Russ didn't have a bad year last year. But y'all were still ass.
Mm-hmm.
He's not that great of a coach. Like, the way he gets talked about, you would think he is the Andy Reid, Sean McVay, what's the name? Dang, why am I blanking up? I'm sorry, dog. I'm tired. I'm blanking on what's 49.
Oh, Kyle
Shanahan. Shanahan. It's been a long day, y'all. This is what working 10-hour shifts and doing a podcast does to you. But yeah, he not the Shanahans. He not McDaniel in Miami. Like, he not LaFleur in Green Bay anymore. Like, he doesn't got it like that anymore. And for people to sit up here and just be like, oh, well, Sean Payton, he can turn the team around. Like, it's probably not going to happen in Denver. I feel like with Bo Nix, like, ever since Peyton retired, Denver has made bad quarterback choice after bad quarterback choice after bad quarterback choice. And it's literally put them in the pits of hell for the last 10 years at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like this just pushed them back at least another 3. And then on top of that, you got Zach Wilson as a backup. Like, there's genuinely a chance that Jarrett Stidham might be the week 1 starter for the And Jarrett Stidham, I don't think he's bad, but that's not a starting QB in the NFL either. That's just a filler QB. Yeah. Like, he might be able to be competitive some games, but he's not going to lead you anywhere. And Sean Payton isn't going to turn him into Drew Brees or something like that. So yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Basically the only weapon they have essentially on offense in my mind is Cortland Sutton. That's about it. They do got Javonte Williams still. He had his one breakout year a couple years ago. Then last year he was coming off the torn ACL, didn't look like himself. They got an old Samaje Perine. They did lose Cushenberry, who was a key piece on their offensive line.
They still got Marvin Mills?
I don't even know, but it's not like he moving the needle if we're going to keep it a buck.
He's decent.
He's decent, but I'm saying, like, it's not going to move the needle. Like, that might make them from 4th to 3rd. Like,
yeah.
But it's not making them jump for real. Yeah. And so it's just like, I don't know what they're doing. I thought they were going to, enter, semi-rebuild, kind of what it feels like. Because, like you said, they released Justin Simmons, didn't want to pay him. And amazingly, I don't know. I feel like it's just got to be collusion between the owners. There's no way in hell Justin Simmons should not be on the NFL roster right now.
They said he trying to not
reset the market or something.
No, he not trying to do training camp. He trying to skip training camp.
Oh, okay.
That's what they say. He tries to skip training camp.
Hey, with all the injuries that are coming out right now, shoot, maybe it is for the best. It is for the best. But yeah, I don't know, Denver. As a Chiefs fan, I love it because it's just like I feel like y'all just keep pushing y'all's franchises back and back, and we're entering our prime. I feel like with Mahomes now being 28 years old, 29-year-old season, So, hey, it is what it is. Mile High, Sean Payton, Bo Nix. I don't think that's necessarily a recipe for a winning football franchise in today's league. But like I said, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll come back and say it. But again, I'm willing to bet good money that's not going to be the case. They like them and the Raiders just seem to be headed in the wrong direction, and so the only other team that it's just like I feel like it's really just because the Raiders and Broncos like, okay, well, we don't expect much. Well, someone's got to finish second. It's the Los Angeles Chargers. Of course, the big offseason move they made, they finally fired Staley. He should have been gone after that Jacksonville choke, but they kept him, 1 year too long. And now they got Jim Harbaugh, coming off the natty with Michigan. They got superstar Joe Alt with their first pick of the draft. They did have to empty out their wide receiver room. And from the few training clips you see, it looks like Quentin Johnston still can't catch. But I did like their pickup of Lab McConkey. I will say that I was a Lab McConkey fan. I wouldn't have been mad if my Chiefs got him. But I don't know what they're gonna do really this year. Like people are like, oh, Jim Harbaugh, they're gonna be good. Like, yeah, they should be good, but they do have a lot of turnaround. And I still think at some point in time, they're probably going to have somewhat of a fire sale with their defense because they're paying Khalil Mack, Bosa, and Derwin James. Like at the very least, this is their last year of all three being together on that defense. Because I think Asante Samuel Jr. contract about to be up, and that's a key piece, young corner that they're going to want to keep. They already paid Justin Herbert, and speaking of Herbert is hurt his foot. And so he might be dealing with a lingering issue in his foot all season after dealing with that finger all year before it finally sidelined him for the rest of the season. So they finished 5-12 last year. Obviously, like I said, Herbert got hurt, so their season was basically in the dumpster from there. But even when they had Herbert with the broken finger, so I'll give him that, like caveat or excuse. Their season was in the dumpster from the very start. Like they weren't winning close games as we seen time and time again in the Brandon Staley era of the Chargers. So can Harbaugh fix that, turn around? I think so. They're going to definitely be more ground and pound. He's a believer in running the football, play action. I think that will help Herbert's game. But as of right now, I feel like they just don't have enough offensive pieces to make like a real jump. Like they'll be competitive. They might be able to squeak in like the final wild card spot, I think. But I just think they're 1 year away. Like they're still trying to get the rebuild set and, get Jim Harbaugh players in the locker room and have his system completely built. Because you lose Keenan Allen, one of the top wide receivers in the NFL. Justin Herbert's legit, safety valve, like go-to. You lose Mike Williams, like Austin Eckler, even though Austin Eckler seemed to be fading last year, but like, he was a fantasy workhorse for years over there in LA. Now it's like all new on offense, Justin Herbert. Let's, make it rock. See what you do. Now, if Justin Herbert is as great as everybody makes him out to be, maybe he can, with the help of Harbaugh's coaching, lead them somewhere. But that is very much left to be seen. So I gotta see it before I believe it, type deal. So I don't know. That could be my Chiefs bias too. But how you feeling about the Chargers? You think they make real noise this year with the new Harbaugh edition, or what?
I'm a big Harbaugh guy. Both of them. I like. I think he's one of the best. I think I said this before. He's one of the best like team builders we've probably seen in a long, long time. I still think they're a year away, but I can definitely see them get into the playoffs this year. I know they lost, their two receivers in Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Keenan obviously a really, really great receiver. That's going to be, a huge loss. Mike Williams, he's a good receiver. He just never plays. So I don't know if they're going to really miss him that much because he's really never on the field like that. So I don't know. That's to be determined. But what I have a sense of what they're doing on offense, they're probably going to be a really run heavy team. I mean, you look at the key additions that they had with Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. Those two guys obviously, they also gotta stay healthy too. But if they do stay healthy, we know what both of them can do. With running the ball, we've seen that in Baltimore with both of them. So yeah, I think they're going to be a really run heavy team. Whenever you got like a quarterback that can pass like Justin Herbert, he's got to make good timely decisions when it's time for him to pass. And in the past, sometimes he trusts his arm talent more than just dinking and dumping or whatever. So hopefully he don't go crazy with turnovers and stuff like that. But I don't know. We shall see. Their receiving core is cool. Like you said, Lad McConkey, I think that was a really good pickup. I thought actually y'all was gonna go pick him up or whatever.
I thought so too.
Yeah, but it didn't happen or whatever. What's it called? Josh Palmer, I think that's his name. I like him. I always said because he was like behind Mike and
He
Keenan.
was a solid wide receiver 3.
Yeah, solid wide receiver 3. And I was like, if he ever get the chance, he should be like a really decent, at least like receiver 1 or receiver 2. And so, he's getting his chance right now. So I think he's solid. But I feel like the X factor is really gonna be Quentin Johnson. Like he gonna have to like if he can ever like find it, bruh. Like
because I feel like he got it.
Yeah,
It's just like now it's like it got the bug in his head. Like he's in his head now. Like I just can't catch. And now it's like now you're dropping stuff you shouldn't drop. Like because you had an accidental drop here or there. Now it's in your head. And it's like now you just dropping anything. But I feel like he can get it together. He can be better. But it don't help. He got Justin Herbert throwing him a rocket ball, and he's not really a hands catcher.
Yeah.
So that's where it becomes kind of painful for him. But I will say the good point you made, Gus Edwards, like, yeah, I don't know what his prop is, y'all, but I would bet money on his over touchdown runs because Harbaugh is going to ground and pound, and when they get in that red zone, he is going to use Gus Edwards just like the Ravens did last year, and it's going to be automatic touchdowns for the most part. Probably running right behind Joe Alt-Az. Like, I'm not even – it's going to be right behind him. So the one I'm interested to see is, like, can J.K. Dobbins also stay healthy? Because, like, obviously it's football. It's by nature, it's like a very brutal sport. But it's like I also believe the training staffs of the teams have something to do with, how well their players stay healthy. And year in and year out, you see some of the same teams always injured with injury or riddled with injury problems. And the Chargers are one of those teams. You have J.K. Dobbins, who's had 2 Achilles tears, I think now, or was it ACL and Achilles? Whatever it was, is a combination, one of those combinations. But those are like the 2 worst tears you could have. He's now going to the Chargers, who don't have a good track record with health, and you're playing on turf at SoFi. So how is he going to hold up? How do you manage him? Like, I'm assuming he's going to be the third down back, maybe. But like, can his body hold up? Like, I don't want to say like Herbert is injury prone, but like Herbert has been injured the last 3 years now. Because 2 years ago he fractured his ribs. Like, I know obviously he can't control that. He got hit hard in his rib cage, fractured them. But then last year he broke his finger, which ended up sidelining him like 3/4 into the season. And then now we're already starting off. What is it, the plantar fasciitis, or however you say it, which is like something that can just linger for time, even though he might be able to play. So it's like, how healthy is he going to be? And then how does that affect him? Because I think their backup quarterback is still Easton Stick. That's not going to – you're going to end up 3-14 by the end of the season if Easton Stick has got to play, minutes with Quentin Johnson and Lad McConkey at wide receiver. I don't care how good a coach John Harbaugh is. There's only so much you can coach and scheme against. So I definitely think they'll be competitive. But like I said, that defense is older. They're expensive. They were shopping them, this offseason. They kind of rearranged some contracts. But I would not be surprised if one of Bosa, Mack or Derwin James is traded before the trade deadline this season, just to like kind of recoup some picks. Because, like you said, Harbaugh is a good team manager, team builder. Like we seen him get San Francisco to the Super Bowl, turn it around with Colin Kaepernick. We seen him before that. He was at Stanford with Andrew Luck, turned them into a powerhouse. Then fast forward to now, he was with Michigan, won a championship, turned them into a powerhouse. So I don't doubt that he's going to turn the Chargers franchise around. Like you said, I just think it's probably a year or so out. And then next year, depending on how Justin Herbert is able to develop with under Harbaugh's tutelage, we see where we go from there. But as of this year, they just lost a lot on that offensive side of the ball. Now it's like, Herbert, this is what they pay you $250 million for. Like, you got to go show it. And Harbaugh will try to help alleviate some of the pressure on you with running the football. But at the end of the day, you have to win them some games. Whereas some of these times, like, I get it. The Chargers defense lets them down a lot. But there's also a lot of times, and I speak from this as a Chiefs fan because I've watched it literally. Herbert has the ball last a lot of times and just fails to get it done. Like, yes, his defense might give up a score, but he'll get the ball back a minute 30, a minute 40, 2 timeouts, interception, 3 and out. Like, it happens time and time again. The first game last year, Miami scores 2 of those that fade ball to Tyreek. They go up, I think it was like 36-34 with like a minute 40 seconds left. Chargers have a couple timeouts. A field goal wins the game. You just got to get in field goal range. They didn't even pick up a first down. Like with us, because every year it's like, and when we play in LA at least, the score comes down to 3 or 4 point difference every game. Mahomes will lead us down there, leave like a minute, 50 seconds on the clock. All Herbert got to do is maybe go get a field goal, send to overtime. Does not happen. So maybe it was a more Staley problem than Herbert. Well, now you got Harbaugh. Let's see that jump. Let's see you go win some of these games and be the elite quarterback that everybody keeps putting in these convos of elite because of his arm talent, but the results haven't backed that up yet. So let's have some of the results back up this year. That's all I want to see from the Chargers. And like I said, I think they will be in contention for a final wild card spot. It's just the AFC is so deep, like we know and we talk about what gets you in that wild card spot. Is it got to be 10-7? But then that's probably coming with like tiebreakers within the conference. So how do you shape out in the conference? And we don't know how that will turn out. But it's probably going to be 3-4 teams in there that's 10-7, 9-8, all vying for that last spot. So it should be interesting. But last but certainly not least, man, back-to-back Super Bowl champs looking to enter unprecedented territory. And yeah, man, like obviously that's never been done. Well, actually, scratch. I think I seen somewhere in the comment section. I think in like 59, 60, 61, the Packers won 3 championships. That wasn't even the NFL. Someone said that bullshit in the Twitter comments, and I was like, bro, shut up. Like nobody's counting that as a three-peat. There was like what 5-6 teams in the American Football League or whatever they called it back then. That does not count. In modern day football, no one has ever three-peated. The last team to have a chance was the Patriots. I believe they lost in the divisional round that next year. So obviously, if no one's ever done it, all odds are stacked against you, man. But like we say all the time, we've never seen someone like Patrick Mahomes. And as long as Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones, Travis Kelce stay healthy, more than likely this team is going to be in at least the AFC Championship game because they've never not been there. And then once it's down to there, Mahomes is going to make all the plays necessary to win that game and take the team to the Super Bowl. And we could very well be seeing the first three-peat. Obviously, the biggest, loss we had this offseason was we did lose L'Jarius Sneed, top cornerback in the league, top 100 snub, all-pro snub. Love my guy Sneed. But he had to go get his bag. We got what we needed out of him. He was a 4th-round pick out of Louisiana Tech, played for us for 4 or 5 years. Last year was his best year, his contract year. You can't give him the bag, especially when we drafted McDuffie, who was an all-pro in his second year, because he's going to get a contract. And Beach, for whatever reason, I don't know what type of scouting he's doing, but he hits on all his cornerback picks. Like in 22, the Super Bowl versus the Eagles, that run we had the youngest secondary in the league with all rookies with McDuffie, Williams, and Watson holding it down. Shoot, Snead went out the AFC Championship game that year on the first couple plays with a concussion, and they held it down. Then fast forward last year, Snead was locked down, and McDuffie was in the slot. I'm assuming it's probably going to be a mix of this guy named Tremere Connor that kind of started getting snaps last year in the slot. You'll see a little bit of him and another guy, Nazeed Johnson, that Spags was real big on last year, but he tore his ACL in training camp, and now he's back. But you'll see a mix of them in the slot, taking that corner blitz role that McDuffie was doing so well last year and Snead before him. You'll see McDuffie get moved to the lockdown CB1 role. I'm excited for him to step into that and show that he can be a true lockdown cornerback one. But than that, man, we returned everybody on defense. And we were already young. Chris Jones anchoring it. Karlaftis in year 3. He's been improving every single year. We got Bolton still. We did lose Willie Gay, but I think Leo Chenal is going to be really good. Drew Tranquil, I think probably our clutches offseason pickup last year. He's there. Justin Reed, another year. I've heard from training camp reports that Jaden Hicks, the rookie we got out of Washington State, he's one of them dudes, and Spags is going to be able to use him like a Swiss Army knife. So it's very hard to repeat like top 3 defense, which I feel we had last year. But on the flip side, the offensive pieces we added and weapons from Mahomes, I don't feel like we need the top 5 defense like we needed last year. We just need a top 12 defense, how we usually have had it. Mahomes and them should be able to put points up on the board now with Hollywood, even though he's hurt probably for like the first 2 weeks of the season with that weird joint dislocation in his collarbone. But we get James Worthy. He's a rookie in Andy's system. I don't know how big of a year he's going to have, but I know Andy's going to have plays dialed up for him, of course. Rashee Rice, my glorious criminal wide receiver one. he's going to, I think Rashee Rice is going to have an amazing year. If y'all are betting people, take his prop 2 on the over for touchdowns. That is Mahomes' go-to guy in the red zone. It was last year. If we would have started playing him like, earlier in the season, he definitely would have had, I feel like, at least 12 plus touchdowns because Mahomes was always finding him. He's been in a lot of the offseason or training camp clips on the page now. I think Rashee Rice is going to have a big year as long as he doesn't get suspended, which I don't think he will this year because the whole legal process has to play out. And like I said, with all of that speed that we do got, the middle is back open for Travis Kelce, man. People were like, oh, Travis Kelce is old. He can't do this no more because he was struggling a bit last season. It was only because defenses could literally focus on him because we had no deep field threat. And again, people, this is why it is undisputed that Patrick Mahomes is the best. Our downfield threat was MVS, who is now about to probably get cut by the Buffalo Bills. The year prior to that, the Super Bowl 22, it was Juju Smith-Schuster, who's currently out of a job. This is why he's the best. Y'all want to see him win this way? We're winning every single way. We're just rotating receivers in and out. This year, even though we got speed with Hollywood Worthy, it's still going to be, receiver by committee. Everybody's going to get a little bit of love. So it is what it is. I think Pacheco is I think he's going to have a breakout year. His 3rd year with the speed on the outside, like I said, it's going to open up the middle for Kelce, but it's also going to lighten up the box for Pacheco. And we already know he runs hard as hell. You're not tackling him the first try most times. I think he's going to have his first 1,000-yard season as long as he stays healthy, running behind Creed and Trey Smith. And yeah, man, call me crazy, but if there's any team that can do make a three-peat, it is this team. And it's not like, like last year was our worst year. And it's like maybe they, feel a little lackadaisical coming into the season, but then y'all fucked up. Y'all put nobody on our team in the top 100 besides Kelce, Jones, and Mahomes. Then you made Mahomes number 4. Then you got the Raiders playing with the curve on the side. When are y'all going to learn? If you poke the bear, you will get got. So now it's like, hey, we're like Michael Jordan, anything, we taking it personal. Y'all giving us all this bulletin board material, man. Watch out. That's all I'm gonna say. Just watch out. I will go into more detail, when we give our preview episode for the season starts for real. But yeah, man, that's my spill on the Chiefs. Love the offseason moves we made. Understand the losses we did have. I wish we could re-sign Legarius Sneed, but mathematically speaking, with the contract he deserved, we just couldn't give it to him. But we will be all right, y'all. We will be all right. I think I saw someone saying like, oh, like they gotta figure out like it's a whole new team and they gotta do this and do that. Like, dog, there's only 5 people now, I believe, from our original Super Bowl roster in 2019 that are still on this team. It's been new iterations of the team every year. If you have Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, we're gonna be in games. We're gonna win a lot of games. We're gonna be in the AFC Championship at the very least. That's literally what the facts say. It's not like, oh, you just making it. No, that's what it is. 6 years in a row. And so we went into the semi quasi rebuild, letting go of Hill, won a Super Bowl. Then we fucked around, went back to back in our worst year. Now the teams that were like, buying with this, I feel like they dropped off a little bit. Baltimore lost their defense, lost their defensive coordinator. Cincinnati having contract problems, like Chase, Higgins, what's going on? Defensive players want to leave, like Hendrickson. They might fall off a little bit. The only true contender I feel like that we have to be worried about is your Texans, because we haven't seen y'all, and y'all are the young up and coming team. Y'all haven't faced us and lost, so y'all don't have to worry about that. Y'all can come in playing with house money. But all these other teams, their last playoff loss was all to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bengals, the Dolphins, the Bills. They all lost to us in these last 2 years. So, like, until one of them prove that they're going to actually beat us for real, the Bengals did it, but that was now 3 going on 4 years ago. Yeah. Like, what are we talking about here, man? So, bring it on. Bring it on. My Chiefs, we ready, dog. We ready. I'm excited for this season to get started. I can't wait to watch Patrick Mahomes play football again.
Yeah, man. It's always fun to watch Pat play football. Yeah, it's a no-brainer, no question. Easily win this division. Pretty easily, I would say. Jaden Hicks, I would like to see him play like that nickel corner or whatever. Have him like use him kind of how McDuffie was being used last year, having him come off blitzes and stuff like that. I think he actually gonna be like a really good ball player. So that's gonna be interesting to see. Yeah, man, this team is solid, and once you got that, you got that man back there. It's it's hard. Yeah, man. It's hard to beat y'all in the playoffs. It's very, very hard to beat y'all in the playoffs because he gonna make winning plays at the end. When he got the ball last, he's gonna make winning plays to win a game, no matter who's on offense with him or who's his receivers or who's blocking for him. If he has that ball at the end, he's gonna have a winning drive, whatever. So, yeah, as long as you got Patrick Mahomes, man,
it's a cheat code.
Your window always open.
Your window always open.
Yeah. Your window's open forever, for life.
And it's like now, man. I think too what people aren't even realizing, like, because like, of course, Patrick Mahomes came into the league, took it by storm. 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards. Then he had the slump in 2021 where people were like, oh my God, he's broken. He's got to learn how to take the check downs. He started taking the check downs. We win the Super Bowl. Last year, our receiving core is literally the worst in the league. So he's not passing the ball down the field because we literally can't. Nobody can get separation. And then the spare chance they do, and he hits them in the numbers, they drop the ball. It was like clockwork watching it every game. And people are like, Patrick Mahomes sucks at throwing the ball down the field. One, like I said, he gonna take that personal. It's pissing him off. Now we got weapons to stretch the field once again. We gonna launch the ball like it's bombs galore. But at the same time, y'all, the biggest monkey we had on our back was solidifying that dynasty. Yeah. Dynasty is solidified now. Now we kind of playing with house money because people are like, oh, he'll never reach Brady. Well, he's already beat Brady to start his career, and guess what? He now has a 10-year window where he doesn't have to win the Super Bowl technically, because Brady didn't.
Yeah.
So what's the pressure? We just going out here to play ball, and that's the scariest thing in the world for the league. This year, I'm telling you, that behind the back pass is coming. We playing with reckless abandon because we don't give a fuck no more. Like, what else do we have to prove? Like, we beat y'all this way, we beat y'all that way, we lose this player, we still beat y'all. Now it's like, let's have some fun with it. Because last year it was like, oh, they gotta go on the road. This whole time they've been winning, it's because they had a home playoff game. And what we do, go on the road, belt to ass. Every single team, we were underdogs. And then it's like, nobody doubted Patrick Mahomes. Yes, y'all did. And y'all are once again coming into this year doubting him. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. It's just funny watching the haters like try to deny what our eyes are literally telling us. Like, obviously, I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm biased. But like, bruh, we know what we're seeing.
Yeah,
This some shit you don't ever see before. Like, come on now. Best player, best team. He's winning all the championships. This is literally all of our sports goats in one. He's the LeBron. He's the Kobe. He's the Michael. He's the Tom Brady. Like, he's doing everything. There's no one that's like, the gap between him and second place is bigger than the gap between the second and third, QB in the league. Like, everybody else is in a pack right now fighting for that 2 spot. He is 3 trophies in the lead right now. Like, the only person who can come close is if Lamar finally gets himself a ring because he's got the 2 MVPs. But even then, he's got to get 2 more Super Bowl rings, 2 more Super Bowl MVPs to even, be caught up for real. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. I'm excited. I think, we're going to see something special. I think, like I said, I'm not gonna get too much in, but just know I think we're gonna see something special. And Pat gonna remind y'all once again, like, stop playing on this fucking name. Like, how many times? Like, this one, how many times do we gotta tell you, old man? Like, he just gonna keep proving you wrong time and time again, man. But that wraps up the AFC West. We're gonna keep it out west, but we're gonna flip it to the NFC side, man.
I need it.